for anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead, so
look at that smile right there. That's a smile of somebody who's done something real bad and is gonna get away with it.
Well, you're all excited about Epstein Island reveal day, right? My prediction. So this is based on the real world, right? So in the real world, I don't think you're going to see the good stuff ever. I don't think it'll ever come out. I do think that since the administration has made such a big deal about transparency, had to release something. They couldn't release nothing. So I think they're going to release the things that are kind of similar to what we already knew, but maybe it gives you a little detail about who flew on the flights.
Tale as old as time. Foreign spy sets up shop as one of the most well-connected millionaire socialites in New York City. He becomes friends with some of the most powerful people in government, business, and media. He invites them to his private island where he films them having sex with underage girls. Then, these elites, they manage to kill that spy, just to make sure no real information actually gets to the public. And since these elites have all the power and influence, they actually cover it up in front of everyone's eyes in broad daylight. This Epstein saga has got to be one of the craziest stories in American history. Yesterday, we were promised to get the Epstein files in its entirety, and all we got was a bunch of pages with a whole lot of black bars on it. This is the very first tweet I ever did in my entire life, and it was 2 nights ago, the night before the list was scheduled to be released. What I said, holy moly, Epstein list coming tomorrow. Y'all think it'll be legit? Or will it be a bunch of useless BS and no one goes to jail? I guess like I'm a little clairvoyant. I guess maybe I'm a little Nostradamus because I guess I was right. I'm Chris and this is the 9/10 podcast where ownership is 9/10 of the law. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps what I do here every day.
You cannot assume if somebody took a flight that they committed a crime. You could assume that almost all of them were targets, and Epstein was trying to get them in a bad situation. That doesn't mean they all accepted. That, you know, there were a lot of sophisticated people who probably could see through the whole thing. Just thought, okay, you know, I'll take some of the offers, but I won't do this one. You know, I'm not going to be in a room alone with somebody underage, for example. I expect nothing.
Here's a really good cartoon that I think encapsulates the feelings of the American people for what's going on with this story.
We're told this morning, given this binder, which has absolutely nothing in it, and they were told by Pam Bondi and the president that she had, because the president asked, ordered for the release of this. Kash Patel delivered it to her desk last week. They were going through it. They expected this to be full of everything that Kash Patel has told me he has seen in the past. Liz reports that she was told that the feeling from Pam Bondi and others is that the Southern District of New York, the FBI in the Southern District of New York, actually has tapes and everything else and will not turn it over to the White House or to Pam Bondi.
The usual suspects again, the Southern District of New York FBI.
If that indeed is true, then we have a civil war on our hands, an internal civil war. You have a duly elected president, duly elected, confirmed leaders of the FBI and the Department of Justice, and then you have the Southern District of New York FBI, Department of Justice, bucking the orders of the president and their direct bosses. If that is true, there is no other way to describe it than you have a department, or 2 departments, under the president that are in complete rebellion. That's not something you take a scalpel to. That's something you take an axe to.
Yes.
And you cut it out.
Cut it out.
That's a cancer, and it is a rebellious cancer. Honestly, a civil war against the president and his duly processed appointees.
That's definitely some insubordination right there.
This is not what I expected from Kash Patel and Pam Bondi and the president.
So let me get this straight. If you have security clearance, if you are working for the government, in any kind of top secret and sensitive capacity. What are the consequences for you not following orders from your boss, essentially the president? What are the consequences for these intelligence agency officers and agents?
And the vice president, and I take them at this point at their word because I know them. I know how serious each of them are about rooting out this cancer. But this looks really, really horrible for the president, because what others will say is, well, this is just the same old stuff.
I agree, because Donald Trump, that was one of his first promises on the campaign trail. We're going to be transparent.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah,
Would you declassify JFK files?
yeah.
Would you?
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
So giving us this bullshit report that doesn't really incriminate anybody just leaves a sour taste in our mouth.
Names of people that they were friends of were on, and so they had to blame it on somebody else. I just don't believe that of the president and Cash and Pam. I know the passionate response in private.
I do agree with that. I really do believe that the president and his cabinet do have the best interest of the American people, and they're really going to be doing America first for us here, but we'll have to see how it all plays out.
About these names and about this list, and how Cash in particular couldn't wait to release this. If I were President Trump, I think, giving him the benefit of the doubt, he is focused on Russia and everything else. But if I were Donald Trump, and no matter what I had planned, if I had an agency in rebellion, I would get on my plane and I would fly to New York, and I would personally fire every single person, and I'd put a padlock on that door in Southern District of New York.
Do it. Fire the Southern District of New York office of the FBI now.
That's what the president, I believe, should do.
Major historic developments have now unfolded in Donald Trump's populist battle with the globalist deep state. AG Pam Bondi's deadline that she set yesterday in a letter to Kash Patel to get her all the hidden secret documents at the Southern District of New York DOJ headquarters has passed. We don't know if she got the information, but we now know she's talking to specific high-level whistleblowers that had the documents themselves and were not told directly to give them to her. Thousands of pages, videos, recordings. And of course, we know that it came out in the trial of Ghislaine Maxwell that the FBI had all these safes, hard drives, and hundreds of notebooks, but they lost them or they got stolen, right? Well, we actually know who's behind all of this. It's James Comey. His daughter, Maureen Comey, ran all the investigations on Epstein and all the different federal cases there out of New York.
The usual suspects, James Comey.
Isn't that convenient? And then James Dennehy is over the Southern District of New York, and he's been the most arrogant person in the DOJ, saying we're not going to do what Trump says, we're going to dig in the resistance. He actually said dig in. Surprised he wasn't fired for insubordination back then, but he's going to be fired right now. Then let Congress have hearings and haul him in so he can defend himself. These people are arrogant, absolutely out of control individuals. They have the Southern
Again, what is the actual consequence for these government agents that just decide not going to follow the orders of my boss that was duly elected by the American people? I'm just not going to follow them. What's the consequences? There gotta be some consequences, right?
District for years with grand juries trying to indict my ass. I had to hire lawyers, all the rest of it. That's just some of the backstory you don't know about. Okay, these people are out of control. It is a weaponization, persecution, secret police factory. Okay, and they were running with the CIA Epstein. Okay, Comey goes way back. Comey, a lot of evidence shows, was one of the main handlers of Epstein. So it's not like he's protecting the deep state. He is the deep state. And Kash Patel told a reporter I talked to yesterday, he said, look, they've totally screwed up. We know they've been destroying this for years. We knew that they've been hiding it. We know they made copies. And now we've got them in the obstruction. So there's more than one way to skin a cat. Patel's real. Bondi's real. These guys tried to pull a fast one and it blew up in their face.
Wow. So there you go. It explains the past actions of James Comey, doesn't it? Seems like he's got a lot to hide and he's definitely a lot to gain for covering this up. Dear Director Patel, before you came into office, I requested the full and complete files related to Jeffrey Epstein. In response to this request, I received approximately 200 pages of documents, which consisted primarily of flight logs, Epstein's list of contacts, and a list of victims' names and phone numbers. I repeatedly questioned whether this was the full set of documents responsive to my request, and was repeatedly assured by the FBI that we had received the full set of documents. Late yesterday, I learned from a source that the FBI field office in New York was in possession of thousands of pages of documents related to the investigation and indictment of Epstein. Despite my repeated requests, the FBI never disclosed the existence of these files. When you and I spoke yesterday, you were just as surprised as I was to learn this new information. By 8 a.m. tomorrow, February 28th, the FBI will deliver the full and complete Epstein files to my office, including all records, documents, audio and video recordings, and materials related to Jeffrey Epstein and his clients, regardless of how such information was obtained. There will be no withholdings or limitations to my or your access. The Department of Justice will ensure that any public disclosure of these files will be done in a manner to protect the privacy of victims. In accordance with law, as I've done my entire career as a prosecutor, I'm also directing you to conduct an immediate investigation into why my order was not followed by the FBI. You will deliver to me a comprehensive report of your findings and proposed personal action within 14 days. I appreciate your immediate attention to this important matter. I know that we are both committed to transparency for the American people, and I look forward to continue working with you to serve our president and our country.
For anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead. So, in general, you always have to be careful.
What?
Oh my goodness. Bill Gates, that just looks so guilty. You just look so guilty right there, buddy. Well, he's dead. Guilty. Right here, we got another creep that was a known Jeffrey Epstein buddy. Good friend, best friend, who knows? Oh man, did you see his smile right there? Look at the smile when he heard the question. Let's just look at that smile. That's one evil smirk right there. He's like, well, guess what? None of that stuff is ever gonna come out. He knows. He knows. Look at that smile right there. That's a smile of somebody who's done something real bad and is gonna get away with it. So he's talking about the evidence is clear. Okay, in my opinion, this is the guy that knows that the evidence will not come out. We'll have to see. So apparently the Southern District of New York has been the arbiter of corruption and definitely has been withholding a lot of the evidence from the American people for different cases. Check this out, going all the way back 2016.
They specifically did not look at the BlackBerry backups, and they didn't look at a fraction of the emails on Anthony Weiner's laptop. One of the things, if I were the president, I'd do is demand the Anthony Weiner laptop and get it to the most trusted person in the military to take apart everything on it and then start using it. There's a lot that can be prosecuted. I have no doubt on that laptop. In fact, I heard that the New York police officers who saw some of it, even though they're hardened investigators, literally had to go throw up. It's bad.
I'm assured that's it. Cash asked the same questions. Assured there's no more. I found out, this week that a source told me New York, SDNY, they're sitting on thousands of pages of documents.
SDNY, Southern District of New York. You guys are naughty, 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 naughty.
That's regarding Epstein. Thousands. And of course, you've seen the very strong letter. We will get everything. We will have it in our possession. We will redact it, of course, to protect grand jury information and confidential witnesses, but the American people have a right to know. And Donald Trump is the most transparent president in our nation's history. So not only will America get the full Epstein files, they will get JFK, they will get Martin Luther King.
Wow. So that right there, when I saw Pam Bondi say that definitely gave me some assurance that she's still on our side. And it wasn't because of her that all these shenanigans came out instead of us getting what we deserve. deserve. What do you guys think? Do you think we're actually going to see the evidence? Are we going to get the actual list? Are people actually going to go to jail for this? Are the folks that went to that island and had sex with those underage girls just that much more powerful than all of us combined, where they can just keep us in the dark? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. And thanks for joining me here at the 9/10 podcast, where ownership is 9/10 of the law. Peace.